Good morning. I am coming to you from our beautiful gazebo at the City of Light Sanctuary. And the sun has risen, but the clouds just stole it just this minute that I'm trying to talk to you. Hopefully the clouds will relinquish it again. I would like to talk to you about the beautiful energy that is within this world and within each and every one of us. And let us start with the universal prayer of peace. Because whatever we're doing right now is to create peace and love for the entire planet and its ascension. O Lord, may your hand lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May all be happy. May all be peaceful. May all be enlightened and cultured. May all attain perfection. May peace be established in the three bodies of man. May peace be established in the three worlds. May peace be established everywhere. May truth be our religion. May service be our worship. May knowledge be our breath. May world be our family. May yoga and meditation be our way. May our eyes see happy and noble things. May our ears hear happy and truthful words. May our tongues be sweet and truthful. May our bodies be divine instruments. May noble thoughts come to us from all corners of the universe. May we never leave God, and may God never leave us. Om, peace and love. Om, peace and health. Om, peace and enlightenment. God bless. The wind is still here. I came inside because the wind rubs against the mic, so I hope that will not be too much of a disturbance. I had no idea until I was requested to purchase this land. I had no idea from where I was requested, but all I knew is that it was a request from a higher dimension, and I don't generally question those. And everything fell into place under the most difficult circumstances. And when everything falls into place and everything lines up effortlessly, then you know it is divinely ordained. And so, then one day, my friend Rana Herman Vezani, who channels Archangel Michael, I sent her an email stating her that I had purchased this land and I've been trying to work on it. And it was about 6 months or 8 months after we got it. And she shot back with another email that Archangel Michael told her that there were memory seed crystals underneath this property. And that was the reason we were to, as he calls it, been given the gift of this wonderful piece of property. Okay. Given the gift. It's a lot of work. So I usually don't think of it as a gift, but Archangel Michael said it's a gift that we have given you. Then I investigated his information about seed crystals. Seed crystals were deposited all throughout the planet in various places, and also in the core of Mother Earth. At the same time, those were caverns also of the violet flame of transmutation. They were placed here because this way the planet can activate to its pristine self when need be. And usually when you have, and they're all over the world, and usually when you have those particular areas, great monuments have been built on them because people felt the energy of Mother Earth. And therefore they have built churches and all sorts of area in that area. Now, these seed crystals, and you know that crystals are living beings. They are wonderful living beings that hold energy. And these seed crystals we're talking about, that he calls the city of light. These seed crystals hold the knowledge of the planet and its energy field. And when the time is right, then the energy of those crystals can begin to emanate out. And that is done through people that come and that have a similar energy. Now you might look at this and say, is this really true? And then remember that within each and every human, we have at the base of our spine seed crystals. We call it Kundalini. And when our emotional, mental, and spiritual body is purified, that Kundalini begins to activate. And we activate those seed crystals. Because these seed crystals have the memory seed atoms, or the Kundalini. Once it's activated, it comes back to where we came from, the source we were, the people we were before we refracted into so many different beings. Not beings, but different energies. And what is important for us at this time on the planet is to energize seed crystals, not only within ourselves, the Kundalini, because once you sit down and you meditate, once you begin to purify, that energy begins to rise. And that energy comes into your heart center. You may or may not experience the energy rising. You will always experience energy rising below the chakras, below the heart. But once it gets to the heart, it becomes very gentle, and the energy rises. Now, these sacred sites that have the Mother Earth seed crystals need people of similar love and compassion and energy to activate them. They were placed around the planet, and then they will in turn activate the ley lines of the planet. And Archangel Michael calls these ley lines the blood vessels of the planet. And so, wherever there is a sacred site, you will find people saying many prayers, and the energy will ask you to say prayers and feel the energy and feel good, so that it can be activated. It is most important at this particular time for us to visit these sacred sites. I happen to be sitting on one of them right now. And that sacred site is connected. This sacred site is connected to Mount Shasta, which is another sacred site. And when Randy Monk came, he brought us this with him. And this is Mount Shasta, and this is the City of Light where we are now. And that, you see that? It runs in the same latitude of 41. Isn't that interesting? And that is the ley line that we need to activate between those two sites. I was asked to go to Mount Shasta, and we went. And when we went, everybody says Mount Shasta has a tremendous, wonderful energy. And I'm going, wait a minute, that's the same energy I feel here, which it is. They both have wonderful seed crystals of Mother Earth. They were placed all over, so there are many places on the planet that have them. And generally, as I said before, they're usually called sacred sites. But not all of them. I know from history that this was a sacred Indian site. American Indian. This was a very sacred American Indian site at one time. So, now that you know this, I would like to talk to you about the seed crystals within your being. You see, seed crystals have adamantine particles, or in yoga we call it prana, or ki, or whatever way, but they are life force energy. Deep life force energy. This life force energy is very important. We're using just a fraction of that life force energy that is available to us. Once you bring up your life force energy, which we call Kundalini, which will be another topic we will discuss soon. When we bring that up into the heart center, then we begin to open what we call the threefold flame of divine, of your heart. And that threefold flame is divine love, divine will, and divine wisdom. This cannot come up unless you are activating the memory seed atoms that you have stored within your physical body at the base of your spine. Physically activating them is not the way to do that, because they will only rise and fall back down. It has to be activated through the heart center, and then it can go further. When we begin to say our prayers, make our gratitude, when we begin to give credit to the divine, when we allow ourselves to know that divine energy is the key to our life, not our own personal energy, which usually comes from the ego, but the divine energy is the key. When we begin to feel that, then automatically the crystals will vibrate and come up. The adamantine particles will rise. And there will be more energy within the physical body. And there will be more energy in your mental body. And there will be more energy in the spiritual body. And then it will begin to awaken our pituitary and pineal gland and activate more of that energy. And so you see, these adamantine particles are a wonderful gift that we have been given, that are really dormant, and we're really not utilizing it. So we're asking you to come and begin to activate, and that comes from the heart center. Once you activate them, then it also will activate the memory seed atoms that are in your sacred mind. And yes, we have a sacred mind, a most beautiful sacred mind. It is there to give us the knowledge that we need for this incarnation. It comes with us for each incarnation. But each incarnation we activate a few more seed crystals for what we need at this time. And usually we call that intuition. When it flows from you, from our higher self, from our God self, and it comes down, it is also activating the memory seed crystals in our sacred mind. You see, when we were brought here, we were brought with all the tools needed for our ascension. Similarly, the earth was brought with all the tools it needs for its ascension. And right now is the time of mass ascension. This was not available to everybody before, but it is available to all now. And the ancient texts, where this availability was only for a very few, still holds true, because the techniques are the same, except that it will become an accelerated pathway. And so we need to accelerate our seed crystals. And what we do for that, the adamantine particles are all surrounding us. What we do for that is the infinity breath. What we do for that is deep breathing. What we do for that is joy. What we do for that is love. Because without joy, without extra energy, there can be no joy. Without extra prana, there cannot be love. This is all comes, and that comes from inside of us, and it comes from outside of us. So when we bring the prana up from inside of us to the heart center, we're also bringing prana down through the crown chakra to meet. And this is why we do that breath. Breathe in light and breathe out love. So it comes from our seeds, our dormant energy that we have been gifted with before we came here. And we come with that into our heart center. Then the energy of the divine, the adamantine particles come in, and they activate the heart and try to activate it to the fullest. And then we can give out love. Every time you feel a surge of love, you can almost feel it in the heart. There's a little funny feeling in the heart, and it goes out. These are the gifts that we have been given. Gifts that we are not using. Gifts that we need at this time, not only for Mother Earth, but for ourselves. Now what we find, if we go to these sacred sites that have the memory seed crystals for the planet, we feel energy also. And that energy activates the energy within us. So when you come to these places, or around the world, and many places have gone to Fatima, and everywhere that these wonderful crystals are, these sacred sites, people feel the power of the divine within them, and they say prayers and healings come. So this is all part of the movement. And yes, it is available to each and every one. And there are many sites, but we have one of them right here. And you can partake of this. And another way to also activate your own is through breathing, through movement, through feeling grateful, for feeling love, and especially joy. God manifests in joy. God manifests in love. So I'm asking you to begin to activate your seed crystals. I'm asking you to begin to activate the seed crystals of the planet. Because without their activation, and they are activated by people, by just people going to those sites and feeling the energy, activates the energy. We are a planet of free will. And it is us that have to do this work. It cannot be done from another dimension. It has to be done by us. So, activate your own seed crystals and begin to go to these sacred sites on Mother Planet. Because right now, she needs to activate. And right now, we need to activate. And here comes the sun again. On this wonderful morning. It is a little cool, and yet it is a beautiful morning. So, with this I would like to leave you and ask you to take a deep breath in. If your energy is pure and your energy signature begins to be pure, then you automatically activate the appropriate seed crystals that are stored below the cavern, in the caverns of Mother Earth. at the sacred sites. And when when you are pure and your energetic signature is pure, then you activate Mother Earth no matter where you walk. You heal, you begin to heal. And your radiation will from you, from your heart center, will spread out and heal whatever it comes in contact with to some degree. So let's work on our energetic signature by activating the seed crystals within ourselves and then within the holy sites on this planet. And may God bless you. And may you activate your wonderful seed crystals. Hari Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. May there be peace in your three bodies. May there be peace in the three bodies of Mother Earth.